Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Trevor, aka that guy you don't know, from Achievement Hunter. I edit GTA, random other things, game kids, run the community channel, all that stuff. So anyways, since I edit, I figured I would show you guys how we set up our edits. A lot of you guys have been asking over the many years, over the dozens of videos that we've put out, and I figured I'd show you. And this is just our way. I'm not going to show you from like the very beginning to the very end or anything, but I'll show you the major steps involved. And this is also in Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2015. So yeah, let's get to it. So first, yeah, there's your footage. You want to drag in your footage. I've got the intro here and all of the gameplays, as well as all of the audio. And you'll see in a moment that we record all of the audio onto the same file. It's got 6 audio tracks. It's crazy. The first step in every single edit is name burning. It's literally putting people's names on the footage as you see. So right here, I have a clip of Jeff, just a 2-minute clip. It's basically garbage. And you can see, obviously, the name's not up there. So normally what we do is we have a template. For Minecraft and GTA, it's a very consistent template. For other games, sometimes we decide to make it up on the spot. And, I don't know, pick a font that fits. Right now, I'm just going to show you a very quick and dirty way of doing that. G off, and then, I don't know, just pick a random font. That looks great. That's actually the brandable font. Let's Play. If you were curious, that one looks nice and GTA-like, doesn't it? Actually, it's called Price Down. Let's just, you know what? Let's just be official. And we'd make it a normal size, and I don't know, I guess white, and you know, we'd stroke it. We put a little stroke on it. Where's that at? Outer stroke. Scroll down, and whatever Jeff's name brand color is today, it's going to be a nice bright pink or purple. Colorblind. All right, there it is. That looks just beautiful. And I'm not going to put the background on it because, I mean, there's a million ways to do that, but that's not why you're here. So there his name is. It's beautiful. It's great. And we could leave it like this and then move on in the process. Jeff!
Oh, what are you recording?
Just how I set up the editing.
Oops. Working with distractions is part of your job.
Hey now. Who the fuck was that guy? All right, so now we have his name on the clip. We can move on. We don't have to move on. And in fact, I would recommend you don't, because with 6 screens like GTA has, your computer will be bogged down, even if it's very powerful like my computer is, because it's the best. So what we do normally is we actually render this out. We'll just re-render a new video clip, so this name will be affixed to the gameplay. The only problem with that is that we can't get just like a naked gameplay screen, but that's fine. Normally we have that somewhere stored away. But so yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's get rid of this Jeff clip thing and this. I'm going to delete all that. There we go. Delete that. So now, oh, what are you doing over here? You goofball, get back there. So now we have the name boards already done, because that's a multi-hour long process depending on how long they record. And yeah, so let's go ahead and start grabbing people and dragging them in. So we just created a new sequence by dragging this into the sequence or whatever. You can also right-click, new sequence from clip. And feel free to pause and move things around as necessary. I might be going too fast. I don't know. And I can't really hear you guys because this is recording. So, in case you didn't know. So this one, I'm going to actually rename this sequence a sync, because this is where we're going to sync literally everything. All their gameplay, to their audio, and sometimes even if their gameplay desyncs, when you hear like a gunshot and somehow it happened like 5 seconds early. But we'll get into that as the edit rolls along if necessary. So there's Jeff. I tend to drag them in based on where they sit. So Jeff, Jack, and then where's Ryan? There we go. Boom. Roasted. All right. So, and then we go back down the other row. Jeremy, Michael. Where's Michael? There you are. And Gavin. Boom. So there you have it. So far, it's already getting cramped. And this is why we edit on 2 screens. Sometimes you'll see 3 screens, which might be a bit overkill, but 2 screens at least, because like I said, I like to keep this one on my other screen, but for the sake of showing you guys what's going on, it's all in one. So it's going to get very squished for the time being as we sync this up. So I drag this up so I can see everything. And then we drag in their commentary. Boom. Oh, yes. Nice and cozy, getting snug in there. Okay, so We have 6 of everything. Let's get started. So normally I kind of expand this just a little bit to see who syncs first, and I'll play it. I'll also probably mute all of these gameplay audios. So that way they... Well, you know what? Actually, let's just do this first. They record, as you can see here, we got Jeff, nice and quiet. Everyone else seems to be a bit uniform, but we're going to go through, push G, actually is what the shortcut is here. Push G, let the thing calculate the peak amplitude, and we're just going to normalize all the peaks to 0. That way all the gameplay is equal, and then we'll bring them down later on, so that way everything's nice and uniform, but not too loud, not too... Because if it jumps around, I mean, it's just chaos. Just chaos. So I'm going to do this real quick. I'll see you in about 5 seconds. All right, so they're all equal now. As you can see, they look visually equal, waveforms and all that. And I can see that there's probably going to be some desync right here as something uniform happened in all their games, but it's a little off. But that can be lag and connection issues. Some people actually experience things early. I don't know, but we'll, like I said, get into that if we have to later on. These little blips, probably where they synced. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's the controller makes a little bloop noise. So there's no preferred order of syncing. I mean, I guess it's just really whoever syncs first. So let's shrink all these back down a little bit. And I'm scrolling over here to do that. And let's just take a little listen, shall we?
Yeah, it's Sean's roommate from Shaun of the Dead.
Turn off the fucking electro.
Why don't you live in the shed, you thick funk?
All right, Kevin.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
All right, there we go. Jack is the first. So normally what I'll do is maybe even just solo his track, Han Solo, if you will. Both of those tracks. So that's all I see. I'm going to have to hide all of these. I forgot about that. Hide all the other gameplays on top of the Jack there. Boom. So now we see Jack's video. It's great, isn't it? And so I can visually line up the waveforms. Boom, boom, boom. Say wayo. All right.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's perfect. That's just great. I get really tedious with syncing things up. So I want to make sure, like, this is the one waveform. I usually put the blip right towards the beginning.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
And then you move on and go forward with syncing literally everything else, making sure their commentary lines up with what they visually see. Okay, that's great. Now I'm just going to go through. It looks like Jeff does it here.
3, that was Jeff.
Probably not. He probably does something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
But yeah, so I'm just gonna go through here and quickly sync everybody up. So once again, I'm gonna cut forward, and I'll see you guys in a couple seconds.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Poo soup.
Poo soup.
All right, there we go. Now we're all synced up. Would you look at that? Also, I lock these as I'm syncing everything up, just so I don't accidentally slide things over or drag things on top of each other, because then it just gets to be a mess. Nobody wants a mess. All right, so everyone's synced up. Let's just go ahead and unmute everything. Everything is perfectly and beautifully aligned. All right, so now that everything's synced, it looks all ugly. We're just gonna right-click there and ripple delete. Smashes everything up to the front, so that way we have no dead air in front of it. It doesn't really matter. You don't really have to do that. Just helps with the next step. So we're going to click on, over here we have the sequence that we were just messing with, a sync. Right-click that, new sequence. Bam! Everything's smashed into those two little things. We'll do that in a second. So everything is now literally in this video and audio file. All the gameplay audios, all the commentary audios, and all the visuals. So actually I'm going to rename that right now to GTA 5. What is this? Offense. Oh, offense, defense. Number 2. That's the theme song. So I don't want the commentary in this thing. I want to be able to edit it and not have it be stuck on top of the gameplay. So we're going to Control X, just cut, grab that audio back out of there, and paste it into this sequence here. And it should still be synced up because they both have the same starting point. Obviously, this is going to have dead air, so obviously you're going to see black at the beginning for a little bit until it turns, oh, wow, there's Jack, yeah, because he was the first to record. Now comes the multicamming, and let's go ahead and just get a little breathing room there. And I'm going to get rid of all these extra tracks. So delete tracks, just because, boom. Oh, that's nice and cozy. Everything's nice and cleaned up. And so right here, it's going to be very small because, once again, this is on one screen, but I'll make it bigger. Oh, save, thank you. So here we go. We're going to click on your embedded sequence, I guess is the technical term for it, nested sequence. Go over to, oh man, I miss it every time. Clip, down to multi-camera, enable. It's enabled. So once you have that enabled, I'm going to scroll over here because you can, there you go. And go from composite view to multicam view. It'll think for a second. Wow. So there's all of our gameplays at the same time. In the commentaries, let's expand those a little bit because we're going to mess with those here. All right. Now that we've got that, we're going to Control-A, drag that over here because we need room to put in the intro. And our intro, normally I would also clean this area up with like bins. You know what? Actually, I'll do that. Gameplay stuff. So let's grab all of the gameplay. Grab the gameplay. Shift click, control click, put it in there, tuck it away. Nice and clean and organized as a professional should be. All right, so, and I'm doing a lot of scrolling, and I don't know, there's probably better ways to zoom, but this is how I do it. So here we go. Now we have the intro, which is not obviously a multicam, so you're going to see nothing in this for a little bit. But it comes in, and then it goes out. That's nice. All right, so great. Intro's in there. And now we're going to scrub through all this junk, them syncing and all that, to find where the video starts. Normally, if you zoom out, all the waveforms of talking and screaming, and not so much up here. So you can really kind of see it starts somewhere in here. I'm going to assume it's right around here. Why not? And just listen for a sec. But before I do that, I'm actually going to render audio. That way Premiere's like, oh, that's not 6 or 7 or 8 million tracks. That's 1. I don't know. It changes on the back end. It makes it a little bit more efficient. And it also takes quite a bit of time when there's half-hour clips, 6 gameplays, 6 audio tracks, and it's pre-processing it, basically. I don't know. So that way it's faster to go. I don't know the technicalities of what I do. You know, I just do it. I'm all self-taught. I don't know about you guys, but there's a million ways to do a lot of things in editing, and a lot of technicality things. I don't ever dig into the technicality things. I mostly just dig into how do I do what I want to do. If I want to move something, keyframing, I'll talk about that in a bit. I might pull up an example about keyframing. You guys seem to like that stuff. Subtle edits. Nothing too flashy, I suppose. All right, now that I'm back from that year-long process that you guys got to skip, the audio is rendered. Not going to help a lot, especially considering I'm recording audio and capturing my screen on the same computer that I'm editing because I'm smart. So it's absolutely going to lag a little bit. Bear with me. That's basically my life. So, hi, Matt.
Hey.
What are you doing over there?
Where are you doing?
I'm showing the people how to be internet famous
Oh, that's cool.
by editing genius films.
You want a chip?
No.
GTA?
Yeah.
You have fun with that.
All right.
You're good. You sure? You're good.
Matt, please, I have business to attend to. Okay. Matt. Oh.
Loser.
Matt Bragg, everybody. So I think if I look at.
Trevor, I don't think you're a loser.
Oh.
I think you're a great guy.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. All right, so looks like the talking starts here. Let's just see what they're on about.
Akbar was actually not a man in suit. It was a giant puppet.
Oh, very interesting. Has nothing to do. Looks like they laugh here, so they're not into it yet. Let's scoot forward. Akbar was actually a genetically modified creature for the film. All right.
Let's play. Hey-oh.
Perfect. That's where they start. There we go. Grab that. Control K, because that's try to hit Control on the left side and K. Who uses the right control? There's a bug in here. Who hits the right control stick, anyways? Matt, you brought over the bugs with your chips.
Look, the bugs are attracted to chips. It's not my fault.
All right.
I can't be blamed for guts.
Matt, all right. The bug whisperer. Get these out of here. Okay, so we know where it starts now. Got all that content to lop out. You guys are going to enjoy that. Oh, yeah, you'll feel that one right in the Nesmans. We just went down to 27 minutes on raw footage. All right, so now what I also like to do is start the audio before, the gameplay comes in, you know what I mean? So, all right. I also do this little sneaky bit. Probably didn't grandfather this in from Ryan. He likes nice, long, dirty intros. Just smack that off. Oh, boy, that's too much knocked off. Oh dear. There we go. Let's just do that. I'm just struggling, guys. Okay, so there we go. All right, now it's nice and short. You guys didn't sit through a dead screen for too long. let's just
Let's play. Hey.
We're back with offense, defense.
perfect. No, another thing I like to do is just come in from black. There's a fade to black, but my default, if I fade, which is Control D, I think I changed that. I don't know, but my default is a cross dissolve, which is a cross fade. So I don't have to go over here and fade. Oh God, there's so many things. Video transitions, dissolve. There it is. Okay, it's dip. All right, fade, dip, whatever you want to do. Matt's dipping over there, dipping chips.
Back with offense,
All right.
defense.
Oh
One
God,
of the
that looked
greatest
beautiful, didn't it? Oh yes, the fade in. Okay, so now what we would do, I'm actually gonna let this play, and hopefully it doesn't chug too much, because I'm gonna risk it and full screen this baby and play.
Hey.
We're back with
As we
offense,
play this,
defense.
we can click
The greatest
over
games ever
here.
created.
Oh, look how I do that. And it cuts to their screens. We can also hit
If
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the keyboard. Not something I tend to do because I like to manually chop and slice because I really like precise changes. I usually change the camera right when that person is talking. Not every time. If the action's on their screen, I'll do it. If it's not, it's not. But it just feels better. I don't know. I edit to basically how I would, what looks best. Anyways, so as you're playing it, obviously this little guy scrubbing through. It's probably got a technical term, but you know what? I don't know what it is. So as this is scrubbing through and you camera switch, it'll actually make nice little slices in there for you, which is great. It's convenient. And then when you're not playing, like now, if I were to go in here and be like, oh, Jack, fuck off, all right? Boom, Michael, it changed it for me. You see that? Changed it. So I don't know. And then there's plenty of other tools. I don't really use a lot of them, I guess. I do a lot of things probably the wrong way. Like I said, I'm self-taught. So it's pretty much like, oh, how do I do blank and such? I would Google it, figure out the best way to do it, my personal best way to do it. I don't know. There's a million ways to do a lot of things. And then I do it. So anyways, I just hit N to get this little tool. Probably got a name, once again. And it allows that cut to be scrubbed along. So I can make that cut more precise. So I'm like, who's talking there? I think it's Michael. So boom, it starts right.
One of the greatest games.
And then like, see how it,
One of the greatest
oh,
games.
right when he started talking, then I started kicking off with all sorts of cuts. And then V goes back to your multi-tool. This is the one I really like to use. And of course, you've got all these other, oh yeah, there it is. It's called the rolling edit tool. And wow, would you look at that? But yeah, you have a bunch of things over here. Zooming, who does that? I click and scroll. Okay, so let's just Control Z, basically all of that gone until I get, there we go, back at the beginning. And then we start the editing process. It's after that, it's very much up to whoever's editing. It's very much a by taste kind of thing. I don't know. We all have our different styles. I think we're all pretty good at it, if I say so myself. I don't know. You guys like to watch it. We like to make it. And yeah, I guess I'll pull up an example, a very, very basic example of keyframing so that you guys can check that out. Keyframing, by the way, it's basically messing with this motion stuff and making it change over time. All right, so for a simple example of keyframing, I'm just going to open up Slasher 2, which was this week's. Unless you're watching in the future, then it was some other week's. Oh, no. Skip all of those. I deleted all the render files because, once a video's done, it's done. There's no need to keep those. Just a waste of space. Let's go back to single screen. Boom. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. So, as you can see, zoomed out, there's a billion cuts. I like cuts. I like fast cuts. Hope you guys enjoy them as well. I try to cut to the action normally so that way you guys can see what's going on, but I also rewatch every cut that I make so it doesn't feel too chaotic. But I'm always open to feedback. I read literally every comment about editing to make sure that I'm getting, Matt's chipping over there, to get the best quality, the things that you guys want to see. I mean, obviously, this is your content, really. So I'm here to make what you guys want to see. All right, so where did I do? Oh, this was way back in the beginning. Let me go find that, and I'll jump right there. All right, so here's a very simple example of keyframing that I did in Slasher 2.
I don't remember. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. There we go. So, as you can see, I do just zoom in nice right when he does the thumbs up, which was hilarious on its own, but I thought it would just add if I zoomed in. Did it. I thought it added, so I kept it. Sometimes I add stuff, doesn't work, distracts. I'm not here to to be obvious. The edits aren't supposed to be like in your face. So I'll get rid of that little keyframing bit. And so here's what it looked like otherwise. So
I don't remember. Oh, there it
dink. But he's just so far away that I thought that was something to show. So let's see. Right when the light goes on him, I figure I'll just cut somewhere around there. And the reason why I'm cutting is so my keyframes aren't drowned out by just empty space in here. It just allows me to more easily see what's going on and really see where the keyframing is at. I mean, it's just personal. Like I said, it's just personal taste. You can do whatever you want. So I'll scrub through. Bink. That's probably where I want the peak of the zoom to happen, right when his thumbs finish going dink. All right, and then as soon as the light cuts off, I think is a great cut. So let me go in there. All right, so there we go. The light turns off right there. So I'm just gonna cut. And then, so we're going to keyframe in here. So obviously it starts, boom, let's open that, start it. You hit these little stopwatches to initiate the keyframing. And basically after that, any change you make in that stopwatch-enabled track, such as the scale, ooh, wow, so big, it will interpolate in time from this point, 100%, to this point, which is 288. And then it'll stop if there's nothing else after it. If there is something else, it'll like just kind of continue through it. So let's undo that. All right, so we're back at the beginning. Nothing's changed yet. Let's see. Well, I know for a fact where the peak should be. So the peak should be dink right when the thumbs come down. So I want to click where I want my camera to end up. Probably, maybe I might, I might just move it a little bit, center him up. Just a little bit. So bink. So there we go. Might move these. Might move those a little bit, so that way it's like, oh, let's, there we go. So now it's going to just kind of go straight from A to B, which doesn't look super great. It gets the job done, I guess. So you're like, boom. But I don't know. I like swinging into it. It might make it look a little better. So you could do something like, I'm right-clicking both of these, and I'm going to ease out, which means it's not like just going to, boom, it's at speed coming out of that, I guess out of that keyframe. Instead, it's going to kind of like accelerate and ramp up out of it. So,
don't remember.
look at that. And then sometimes also, if I'm like, it's still getting there too quickly, I might like get in the middle of there. So it's a linear path still from 100 to 404, I guess, is what I went with. So right now in the middle, obviously, but it's going to be about 202. So I'll probably bring that down just a little bit. That way it's more like exponential. You kind of, you're still ramping into it. Looks like it picked, I don't know, continuous probably. Sometimes audio, I don't know. I just mess with whatever. I don't really know the finesse of what's going on with these guys. If you do hold, it'll come to a break and I think come back out of it. Don't really want that. I want something continuous. It'll swing in and swing through. Sometimes it slows it down, so
there it is.
if it does, I don't know. Just
there it is.
I might want it to speed up
it
at the
is.
end, so I'll move that a little bit. Yeah, there we go. It's getting there. Might want to ease in. Let's just, ease into this. So it kind of comes to a stop, a nice gentle stop.
Oh, there it is.
We'll just see what it looks like.
Don't remember. Oh, there it is.
It's getting there. It's all right. I guess I left the position. I'll let the position stay. That's close enough. I mean, I just kind of play with that back and forth until I'm happy with how it looks. I usually, like I said, I replay cuts to make sure the cuts like.
Well,
oh, see, as soon as you said, "Whoa," he's like cuts back to his screen because you're like, "Oh, he's seeing something." What is he seeing? It's a figure in the dark. Well, who's the figure? Let's light him up. It's Jack.
that was so.
And then it cuts to Jack just because he was the one doing it. Oh, another thing about this particular Let's Play is, bang, Michael didn't start recording until about, I don't know, halfway through the whole thing. And so what I did instead, let me put this back into multicam view. So what I did instead was I changed, like I just put titles in the place of his camera, and I just made them really long just because I don't know, I just roughly put them in about the time that he says something, even though I only need it for like 2 seconds. So it's gonna be hard to, let's just scroll way in and scrub along until we find something by Michael. Well, I guess the most obvious one is the Michael forgot to record screen right here, because it's right at the beginning. Didn't even think about it. Save some time. Okay. And of course we had Michael sneaking, Let me just turn to confuse the people. All right, he just has a black screen with Michael sneaking, and then, oh, different room. Oh, just based on what he's saying, basically to fully convey the fact that, yeah, he's not recording. You're not missing anything. And I thought it'd be I thought it'd be a little silly thing to add for just a second or two because he's expressly talking about what he's seeing. So I figured I should have a placeholder. So here we are at the beginning. Let's just see what happens. And also, this is not the most efficient way to do this, is to put this in the multicam. It adds more thinking for the computer. I literally could have just done a little Control T and like just done test, and just, I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah. Changing the font. It's for kids. Okay. Could have done this and literally just deleted out any of the multicam that was happening there, and it would have come to the same effect as what we've got here. But I did it. It's what I felt like doing at the time, so I did it. So we're coming through. Everyone's talking.
Up.
So
that's
and
what
we
we
turned
gotta
out the
do?
lights.
We
It's
did.
Spooky now.
And we used face cam that may or may not be in the video.
Very
Oh,
relevant because
I-
it's like, oh yeah, look at my face cam. Oh wait, you didn't record. So I figured like it'd be funny to put a little note there because otherwise I'd have to cut that out. Otherwise people would feel like they just missed something. Like, wait, why didn't I see Michael? He was talking about his face cam. He was probably naked or something. I'm totally missing out. Well, don't worry. We usually try to give you all the best visuals possible. We usually don't try to let you miss anything. So yeah, and then I just cut through and oh, here's another one. Oh, whoa, just freaking out on me there, Premiere. Just calm down, all right? So actually, this one's funnier. So they're planning their great escape. As you can see, things are kicking off with all these waveforms. It's usually when they're screaming, someone's dying, laughing are these little spikes here. It's funny how you start to recognize that stuff. But obviously, you can see all of their webcams or gameplay cams. They're planning their great escape for if Jack the murderer shows up. And I fade in a little bit of a picture-in-picture, so that way you can still see every angle of what's going on. Because otherwise it's way too chaotic, and replays are a little cliche, they're a little dirty. They're not, I don't know, they're not as fun to watch. And so I figured if you really wanted to see all the angles, as you can see right here, cut. I did all like the primary angles that you would want to see. And then inside of that, Jack is on top of it, as he's the hunter, or whatever it's called. The murderer, slasher, whatever. I guess that's topical. So, all right, I guess I'll just pick a random area with a nice long clip. Sure, right there. So how do I do that? Very, very simple. It's pretty much the same as the keyframing, except with just no keyframes. It's literally just messing with the position, size, stuff of the camera. So what I'll do is whoever I want to be the picture-in-picture, I will, I don't know, like Jack right here. I'll have them be activated, so their camera's there. I'll drag them up, right-click, unlink, get rid of their audio. Because you don't need their gameplay audio. They're not the primary screen. And whoever I wanted to be underneath, I would just drag them underneath. Let's just say Ryan's camera wanted to persist. I don't know, I might fade in the camera. Sometimes I'll have the camera start full screen and shrink down into a small version. But not all the time. It depends on if it's the primary camera. Like if Ryan's camera right here went, from full screen to small screen, then I do some fancy edit. But since it's Jack's, and Jack's is just coming up out of the blue, I would do that. Might, not in composite view, that might help. Bam. That helps with moving stuff around. I'd find a nice spot to put them. Sure, right there, right over here, whatever. And sometimes we put a border around things. I don't know. Not in this Let's Play because it was just so dark. Having a nice bright color around their webcam just was distracting. So anyway, sometimes we put a border around that. This time, not going to do that. But, we're following Ryan. What's going on?
Through the door?
Who's winning? I can't tell.
And there you go. And now you can see both of them fighting each other, shooting each other. That's just, typical day, real life in the office. And then you come winding down once you've done all your cuts, like I said, just per taste, basically, doing the basic back and forth. You fade out. Oh, you have your nice little intro here. Or I guess it's an outro, technically. A call to action. And put a little picture-in-picture. This is something I already did, so it's already rendered and flattened. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much else to say.
Hey,
Matt, did you learn some today?
I learned a lot, but did you remember to sync up the game audio? Make sure it's all synced?
Ooh, you know what? I could
'Cause
do that.
If you didn't, it's okay. You'd be fine. I'd, however, would be fine.
Yeah, if you did it,
Yeah.
you're fired.
Yeah. It's okay, though.
All right, so we're done with that. We don't need to save that. Oh, on my desktop, yeah. All right, so we are back now in offense, defense. Really quick for one final thing. Sometimes it's been known in Premiere to happen because there's no fixes for it because it's, perfect. The gameplay audio will desync, and it's a mystery to all of us. But if it desyncs, it's not a huge deal. It's just tedious, I guess. But normally we'll notice it as we're editing and like, oh, that gunshot was like 5 seconds early. We'll come in here, we'll unlink like I just did the audio from the video, and you'll just move literally the audio. And now it's way off, obviously, but pretend I just put it back. Oh, it's perfect now. And then and everything's great and fine and dandy. And then we go back to the edit and make sure to just, everything's fine. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Going through this in a little bit, and then I guess I could go through my render settings since we just recently updated those. So I'm going to pretend like I'm going to render this now like it's completely done because everyone wants to see just an entire Jeff Let's Play, just his angle. These are all presets, ugly things. Then there's match source. I like to use match source because it takes the frame rate and the size and the gameplay, I guess the audio, like bit rate and frequency and all that stuff for you. It's just nice and easy. And then I make my own based on the bit rate. That's the only thing I change. And then it's because it's worked out for me. It's always worked out for me. So recently, you know what? Fine. I'll just scroll through slowly. Look at all these wonderful. That's not slow. Look at all these wonderful options. Here's everything right there. We render now to 30, 35 because our gameplay captures something like 40 megabytes a second, sometimes 50. And if it's shadow play or fraps especially, it's like a lot higher because fraps is uncompressed. But we render this about this, so the target is 30, and put the max like 1,000. Put the max at like 35, maybe 40 for a very visually complex game like this. So that way, if there's ever a ton of stuff going on, it just like increases the bitrate to accommodate for that. So that way it doesn't get noisy or low res or messy. But yeah, so that's it's not custom. There we go. It's so that's our bitrate, high bitrate render. It's literally like I said, the default is match bits, the match source high bitrate, and then I just came down here and changed it manually, and then saved it as a new thing. Very simple. I think Lindsay and other people have more complicated, like they go in here and tweak stuff. I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. Doesn't really matter. And then here's my name. My old name burn was only 20. Oh, I have to raise that. But yeah, and then we'll render it, put it up on our shared like servers, so that way the company can grab it and upload it, and there you have it. That's pretty much it. I hope I got everything. That's basically the A to Z on how to edit this. If you notice a little bit of chugging and glitching in the playback, and it was annoying, well, you got lucky. That was actually pretty smooth, because by the time I'm like all the way at the end of this, and with all my cuts like you saw on the previous project, and all the audio tweaks, like sometimes, oh my goodness, look how let's unlink this. Look how loud they are here. I was about to wrap up this video and I'm doing something else. Okay, so they get super loud here. I'll probably just take this cut tool with C and then I'll probably cut all that out. And then I do G, probably bring it down to, probably bring down Ryan even more than that, just so it's not like, yeah, that way it doesn't like, oh God, that's already loud. So that way everything's a bit more quiet or more universal, because suddenly if everyone's screaming and your eardrums bleed, well, that's not a good viewing experience, is it? So I go through and tweak audio levels on all that. And we also, I guess, while I'm at it, have presets. Let me just link all those again. Link. Zelda. Preferences. Okay, so we have presets. Bing, bing, bing. Put those there. Unlink them so you don't see a million things at once. We have the declicker and the dynamics. Something we've just added pretty much to every commentary track that we do. Caden could tell you more about that. I don't know, I just kind of do it. But here's the settings we use. 50% deplop. I guess that one kind of gets rid of plosions, like that. I've got a pop screen filtered thing, so it kind of mitigates that already, but whatever. It helps, I guess. And then we have a compressor, which does something magical. Who knows? And we don't tweak any of this outside stuff, just these two middle ones here. And I don't even know if this is default on, so check that, -20 or -12 because numbers, and then 3, And those are what we use. Those are our presets that we saved for all of our commentary tracks. It just makes it sound better. Kind of deepens the lowers and doesn't make it super tinny. Kind of gives more bass and just sounds more professional, I suppose. And makes everyone a little bit more universal. Another thing, I guess you can make, max peaks -2, I think, on all the commentary tracks. Once again, it's just make everything sound nice and even, Steven, because otherwise people are loud and quiet and whatever. All right, that's pretty much it for how to edit. Now go do your own Let's Plays and become internet famous. You'll be an internet sensation. With this guidance, you shall prevail and make the best videos in the world. All right, if you guys have any comments or questions or anything, feel free to message us on the site or Twitter, I guess, if you like character limits, or leave them in the comments. I don't know. Somebody will answer it, I guess. We'll have Caleb answer them. You know what? Just email Caleb. Caleb@achievementer.com. He doesn't know what he's doing as far as editing goes, but you know what? He'll have fun with those emails. And if you guys want to subscribe, click on this. I'll put words on the screen. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. And I'll see you later.